independents have always been excluded, and it is quite clear from the text of 51(6) and so also the purpose of it, that seats have to be given to political parties. It is the women whose representation was to be secured through political parties on the basis of proportional representation system of political parties list. The only exception for independents is what is provided in the proviso. My Lord, with this, I move on to my next submission. And now here I address the question.
Why such situation is not provided under the Act and the rules?
Pardon,
To cater such type of situations, why the Act does not provide any provision like this? To give the seats if such a situation of independent candidates occur, and under the proportional representation system, the seats will go to such parties who have contested.
My Lord, that is
Well, 51D alone is not enough for this interpretation, you see.
My Lord, the rules also provide, sub-rule 2 of Rule 95 provides for exclusion of independents 1, with the exception that the independents who duly join a political party, they do not get excluded because they get added back to that political party for the
Consequences of exclusion are not mentioned.
My Lord, the consequence of exclusion is something which is rooted in 5160, my respectful submission, which is that because the seats have to be allocated to political parties and not to the independents, therefore the independents must
What is the
necessarily be...
purpose of list at the time of filing list of the political parties for the reserve candidate? How do you know कि ये situation होनी है तो मैं 10 की जगह 40 नाम दे दूं list में पहले से?
My Lord, the rules and the Act, it provides for and it gives this latitude to the political parties to give as many names as they may wish to. They can give all 60 names from each province, 32 and whatever the number may be. वो सारे वो नाम दे सकते हैं. अगर वो list exhaust होती है तो फिर addition.
तो ठीक है, वो तो provision है उसमें exhaust के बाद.
जी.
तो law में इस तरह की कोई provision नहीं.
ये law के अंदर की section 104 की बात कर रहा हूँ.
No, situation to deal with such situation, there is no remedy provided how to deal such situation under the law.
My Lord,
in the Constitution, it is not provided.
Now this situation has arisen, and in this parliament, there are about 32 or 33%.
This is one of the creative and progressive interpretation at one end.
My Lord, that might be so. There are about 33% members who, according to the order of the Election Commission, were declared as independents. I've shown you the example of Balochistan Assembly where not as much, but more than 20% were independents. The question before your lordships in order to deal with this situation would be whether under 51(6)D, Sunni Ittehad Council was the party which the independents could have joined. Now, if it was a party, if you come to the conclusion that it is the party which the independents could have joined, then the proviso to sub-rule 2 of Rule 95 would kick in and these independents would not be
Actually,
excluded.
I was reading the literal text of Article 51D. What is provided in that? Is it cater the need of the time which you have done?
My Lord, in this case, the primary question will be a two-step response to this, and that is how the case has also been made out. First is whether this is the party which the independents could have joined for the purposes of paragraph D of clause 6 of Article 51, and then if they could, whether this party then becomes or is entitled to those reserved seats or not. So this is in this order, the questions have to be addressed in my respectful submission. If the court comes to the conclusion that yes, this is a party which they could have joined and therefore their status is no longer that of independence, then proviso to sub-rule 2 of Rule 95 would kick in and they will not be excluded. But if you come to the contrary conclusion to the contrary, then their status will then become that of independence and then they will have to be excluded. I will make, during the course, I will make another submission which might then bring home the point what I'm trying to make.
What your emphasis is that exclusion of the independents with regard to the proviso. It caters both the positions, exclusion and inclusion. Inclusion is also under the proviso.
Ji.
if they join the party within prescribed period.
get excluded.
And
They
that
get-
join such political party.
Yes, yes. And that's what the proviso also mirrors, actually. It gives effect to the proviso to paragraph D. sir.
Exclusion and inclusion both.
Ji. My lord, if I may now, my lord,
Attorney General, I think we haven't addressed the basic question, and that is in the context of Article 51D. The edifice of Article 51D is the constitutional right of a political party. Now here, a political party has been excluded by the Election Commission, and that is the question. Now, would be a very grave constitutional violation committed by the Election Commission itself. So, as a constitutional highest court, it is not our obligation to correct this very serious, grave constitutional violation, because it goes to the root of democratic principles enshrined in this constitution, and it has virtually disenfranchised all those who voted for that political party.
my lord, I intend to, and my lord has raised this question, had raised this question yesterday. My last submission actually addresses this when I made submission on Article 187 also.
But can you
before
come
that,
to
I
the
have to-
examples that you have given of the 2024 elections in your paper book? Because the impact is important to note and understand. So what you've shown on page 23?
Lord, Ladyship, if I may, this is the record which I had placed before you. For the purposes of the submission which I have made with respect to this record is only one. And when I make the other submissions, this will, my lady's question
Are you
will
going
then
to go
become
through this
relevant.
record?
Ji?
Are you going to go through this?
Gee, I will go through this record because in 2024 also, the independents have been excluded, independents including those who had joined
But you see here,
SIC.
the number of independents are very large. And so you
Might
can
be so.
see the impact that it's
जी, जी.
having
वो-
on your proportional representation.
इम्पैक्ट जरा क्लियर कर
वो मैं करूंगा अभी मैं इस पे आऊंगा अभी मैं एक अभी सबमिशन आई वांट टू मेक अ सबमिशन ऑन आर्टिकल 224 which deals with the vacancy of seats, a situation where seats have to remain vacant.
Actually, you see, in the past, the independents are very few, so the question never arose and was not as a non-issue. In any case, also, you took out the independents because you could then divide the entire reserve seats. Nothing remains vacant. That's why the exclusion की mathematics यही है ना, exclude कर देंगे तो पूरा हो जाएगा ना, सारी seats पूरी हो जाएंगी.
Sir,
That's the only benefit, that you exclude the independents, उस whole में सारे आ जाएंगे. लेकिन the only problem with the current situation is the tip towards independence being more, because nobody bothered challenging this earlier, it was a non-issue.
मैं
So
इसको
इसलिए impact वाली बात अगर optically हम देख लें क्या
जी
है.
जी मैं उस पे आना है मैंने after making this submission I'll be addressing that question, sir. Now, if my lords and your leadership may kindly turn to Article 224, I'd read out clause 4 and then take you through the other provisions. The submission I wish to make, the point I wish to make, my lords and your leadership, is that the vacancy of seats envisaged for a very limited, narrow window under the Constitution gels in with the scheme provided in the Constitution itself, as also the law which is applicable in this case. Now, if I may kindly read out clause 4 of Article 224 very quickly. When, except by dissolution of the National Assembly or a provincial assembly, a seat in any such assembly has become vacant, not later than 120 days before the term of that assembly is due to expire, an election to fill the seat shall be held within 60 days from the occurrence of the vacancy. Now,
What's relevance?
my lord, my submission is that the Constitution does not envisage vacancy of any seat. A seat must always be filled, particularly in the present circumstances also where the seats are reserved for women and non-Muslims.
How does that work when a candidate of a reserved seat passes away or something?
Clause 6 kicks in. Clause 6 kicks in. I'll read that out also. But वो भी पढ़ देता हूँ फिर अभी से. When a reserved seat for women or non-Muslims in the National Assembly or a provincial assembly falls vacant on account of death, resignation, or disqualification of a member, it shall be filled by the next person in order of precedence from the party list of the candidates to be submitted to the Election Commission by the political party whose member has vacated such seat, provided that if at any time the party list is exhausted, the concerned political party may submit a name for any vacancy which may occur thereafter. Now back to clause 4. Now there is a 120-day window, which is 120 days before the expiry of the term. If a seat falls vacant, Constitution says don't hold elections. And one rationale is provided within this clause itself, which is when read with Election Act, there is a 54-day election program also. So the 66th day is an absolute cutoff. Because after the 66th day, if the seat falls vacant, the elections cannot possibly be held because the 54-day election program cannot be seen through. There is another rationale to it also. If you may kindly turn to Article 222. I'll read out clauses B, C, and F, but the opening part of it also. Subject to the Constitution, Majlis-e-Shura, Parliament may by law provide for B, the delimitation of constituencies by the Election Commission, including delimitation of constituencies of local government. C, the preparation of electoral rolls, the requirements as to residence in a constituency, the determination of objections pertaining to and the commencement of electoral rolls, and F, all other matters necessary for due constitution of the two houses, the provincial assembly and local governments. Now, the Constitution requires Election Commission to carry out these activities for the purposes of conducting elections and due constitution of the two houses. If I may take you to Section 14 of the Election Act.
इसमें क्या बताना था?
इसमें मैं ये बता रहा हूँ कि इलेक्शन एक्ट का सेक्शन 14 आप देखेंगे तो 4 महीने के अंदर बिफोर द एक्सपायरी ऑफ द टर्म ऑफ द असेंबली द इलेक्शन कमीशन इज टू कंप्लीट द डिलिमिटेशन, प्रिपेयर इलेक्टोरल रोल्स एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फॉर्थ, which is its duty under clause F or 222 and the other provisions of the Constitution. So section 14 अगर आप देखें इलेक्शन एक्ट का, so this timeline actually works with the timeline provided under clause 4 of article 224. जहां पे 120 days बताया था, तो साथ इलेक्शन एक्ट में बताया कि 4 महीने एक्सपायरी टर्म की एक्सपायरी से पहले ये सारी एक्टिविटी और ये सारा काम करना है इलेक्शन कमीशन ने, जो 222 में बताया हुआ है. So when you read them, all of them in harmony, the constitutional command becomes very clear, which is that no seat can be left vacant but for what is provided under clause 4 of article 224. So section 14, I can read out, but my lords may kindly note what I've submitted with regards to section 14.
What do you say about Article 51(1), as my lord Jasmani pointed out?
जी.
यहाँ पे जिक्र सीट्स का है और मेंबरशिप का नहीं है जरा.
My lords,
51(1).
my lord would see that Article 51 deals with the stage where the elections are being conducted, elections. It deals with the elections. It deals with the seats which are to be filled. Now, during the process, once the seats get filled, then they become members of the houses. So in the constitutional flow, a scheme of things, you start with 51, and then when you proceed, you are past 51, and the returned candidates are declared as such. They are administered oaths of the offices, they become members. So the interface is quite clear, sir, as far as my submission goes.
That perhaps you have reversed the sequence. I think the operative presumption of the Constitution is that in any house or assembly, no seat, served or otherwise, will be left vacant. That is the basis on which the Constitution proceeds, to which, for example, Article 222(4) is an exception, that you must leave it vacant. Now, that presumption proceeds also on other presumptions, as my learned colleague Justice Masud Shah pointed out, that the number of independents will be low. As you yourself said yesterday, that if there is a very, very large number of independents returned, there is something dysfunctional, something has gone out of kilter, right? You said that yesterday.
My precise words were that people have then rejected the political parties.
In the sense that we have a parliamentary democracy based on political parties. So once you accept that as the basis of the constitutional framework insofar as we are presently concerned, then other things follow, then other clauses and provisions make sense. But here, the very large number of independents, which you say is resulting in a vacancy of the reserved seats, and therefore the excess seats, as it were, go to the political parties and so on. Seems to me that that begs the question, where did that very large number of independents come from? Were they independents returned by the people, or were they independents, with all due respect to the Election Commission, created by the Election Commission on its faulty understanding of the Constitution, and in particular the judgment of the Supreme Court, which upheld their order? They said it meant this. It didn't say this. It didn't mean that at all. So you see, when we are in this realm, if this is the correct position, that this whole problem or issue is arising out of errors made by the Election Commission, then surely it is or is it not, the duty of the court, the Supreme Court, to the extent that it is able to do that, to correct that error, to rectify the problem, and if there are alternate pathways available, legally available, to choose the one that results in the error being rectified, and either for that problem, quote unquote, of reserved seats, the excess reserved seats, going to political parties who are not really entitled to that, because that tips the balance, that problem being disappeared because the reserved seats go to some political party to which is entitled, or maybe keeping the resultant vacancies to a minimum. I mean, seems to me surely that is the correct way to interpret and apply the Constitution,
My lord,
rather than just saying, no, the seats cannot lie vacant. No, I am sorry, I don't, with all due respect, look at it that way. I think the Constitution assumes that the seats will not lie vacant, and therefore, in terms of 22(4), expressly creates a situation where the Constitution says, look, this is the working basis of the Constitution, but here the seat must lie vacant. Surely that's the better and more correct approach.
my lord, I had begun my submissions by yesterday by stating that these reserve seats under 51(6) are to bring in women in such large numbers to the assemblies. It is for their empowerment. And the tool is the political party, or the vehicle is and the engine is the political party. And then there is a system which is provided, and that system excludes independence. So this is the flow.
But you see, it
Now,
seems to me, just looking at jo aap abhi baat kar rahe hain, but then why have the system of proportional representation? Because it seems to me that when a general election especially takes place, and general